Hi everyone, it's Kim Baker on behalf of FacePaintingTips.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a butterfly using my daughter as a volunteer. And I'm going to do it using all Diamond FX paint, so we'll get started. When you're doing the butterfly, I'm going to do a two-winged butterfly. You can also do it where it's just one, you see mostly one wing over an eye and a little bit of the second wing. And you can be as detailed or not detailed as you want, depending on how fast you have to move. So I start by sponging on the wings. I'm going to use 3 colors. You don't have to use 3 colors. It could all be one color, but I find that using 3 colors, moving from lighter to darker as you go away from the eye, looks prettiest. So I think the colors I will use, this is like a mango-y yellow. It's not the yellow yellow. It's a little bit darker of a yellow. I think I'll move into this pink here by Diamond FX, and then end up with the orange, and then blend them all together. So I'll get started by spritzing the paint and loading my sponge, and we'll start. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. So I'm using the edge of the sponge here with the yellow, and I'm going up and down, and I'm not going all the way across because I have 2 more colors to go. Okay, now I usually don't paint left-handed. I'm doing this, or sponge left-handed, but I'm just going to use my left hand so you can see better. And you kind of stop about midway down the cheek and maybe an inch above the eyebrow. Okay, let me even out this one a little bit with a little more yellow. I'm going to be spritzing on the next color, which is pink. I'll load up my sponge. Okay, I'm using the same sponge, by the way, because you have the other half to use. All right, close your eyes. Okay, and now you're going to kind of line up where you're going. Do the next color in. All right, I want these to blend. I'm going to use the back of the sponge, which has no color on it, and I'm sort of blending the yellow into the pink. I'm also doing a little bit with the yellow, dragging it into the pink, and with the pink I'm dragging it into the yellow. Okay, so you can kind of see how a little bit of orange has already been created right there. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm loading with the pink. See if I can do left-handed again. Here's my pink. Oh, keep your eyes closed. Using the back of my sponge. You got to do this part quickly because if it dries, you're not going to be blending very well. Diamond FX dries quickly. You have to move fast. Like with another paint, maybe I would just use the back of the sponge and I'd be able to blend the 2 in. This one I'm just kind of dragging back and forth. Okay, so the 2 colors are nicely blended. I'm going to use a second sponge. I'll try some orange on the end. I mean, you can do whatever color you want. You just don't want to add colors that are going to look ugly when you mix them. Okay? So here's an orange for the edge. I'm putting in. Come down to the side there. The other thing is, you do not have to do it like I'm sort of doing it in rows. 1, 2, 3. You don't have to do it that way. You can just dab, dab, dab a little this, dab, dab, dab a little the other color, dab, and make it modeled, and then kind of blend them all together so that there's no set pattern to the colors that you're adding. Alright, so don't worry if it doesn't look perfect at this stage because your line work is what's going to make it happen. I'm picking up my pink one again so I can blend my pink back in to my orange. Let me duck down a little so you can see. Okay, whoops, that was the yellow I was doing there. Alright, so at this point you have your base of your butterfly. I'm going to add, this is a number 4 round, which is, it's a synthetic brush. It's got a nice spring to it. It's one of my favorite brushes. Okay, You don't need a lot of, well, I didn't bring out my towel. Normally I would dab my towel a little bit. You don't need to get the Diamond FX paint very wet at all. If you do, it'll look too watery. The color won't be solid. So you don't have to use black here. I just prefer black, but you could use a complementary color that's much darker, which I don't think, there's no complementary color other than black that I would like in this case. Do your little head, make a teardrop. I'm doing a reverse teardrop here, but you always want to end on a nice fine point. You don't want it to look, you know, this is your teardrop, the fatter end, but this end should be a nice fine point, and you get that by just gently lifting up on your brush, okay? So now we're going to start up for an antenna. Come down perpendicular and very lightly, and then start to add pressure. Now you can make your antenna however you want. You can see I let go of my pressure there and I have a nice tapering. Okay? You can, I mean, I kind of like this way where I'm at a bad angle here, so I was not perpendicular, so I'll fix this spot here. But you could do it any way you like. Some people like the antenna to just go straight up and out, however you like it, okay? And then all you have to do is add a whole bunch of black lines to finish off your butterfly. So I'm reloading my black, same brush. You're going to start in the corner of your eye, or her eye. The way I like to do it is you're going to come up, give it pressure, and I kind of like to wisp it out on that side. I'm going to finish one wing first. Normally I would then do this one line over here. The reason is because I want it to look as symmetrical as possible, and if I do it right, left, to divide it up a little bit that way, it ends up looking more symmetrical. So there's all different ways you can shape out your wing. Maybe I'll shape out the other wing differently, but you add a fairly thick line, and you can come on in to kind of divide up the wing. You add a little eyeliner, keep your eye closed. Okay, still keep your eye closed. And I'm kind of wiggling the brush as I go down, just to give it, so it doesn't look perfect, like a perfect flat line. I like to add a little curlicue at the bottom, and then come on up. And then at this point, I probably need to reload, but I would add, I like adding dots here that go up to the eye. But you could do whatever you want. It's just, it looks a little more delicate as it's near the eye. Just reloading my brush a little bit again with the black. And then, alright, I like to add something like a heart shape, like this. It's a fairly thick line. Go right through her eyebrow here. Okay. And then where this meets, I like to fill it in. I'll show you. I'll make backwards U's here. And fill in with your black. And I'll do the same thing on the bottom wing. Here's a W sort of shape, and then I'm doing a M sort of shape, and I'm filling in where the two are meeting. Let me carry it over again. Okay, I'm filling it in. Then I would add a whole bunch of white dots. I just loaded a, I don't even know what number this is. This is probably a number 4 as well, with white. And then you can fill in these outside parts with white dots of different sizes. Don't make them all the same size. You can add, you know, however many you want. It's all up to you. I always paint with my other hand on the child's head because it's going to stabilize your painting, especially if you got wiggly worms. At this point, I don't have my glitter out here with me, but I would be adding glitter. If you want the glitter to really stick on very well, what you would do is add the glitter before you do any of your line work, when this paint is still wet. And this Diamond FX dries quickly, so you'd have to put it on fairly quickly. But all this line work is still not fully dry, so the glitter would still stick, okay? I'm going to show you a little different on the other side. Here we go. This is this the same brush? Yeah, number 4. Gonna cross in front of you. Alright, so let me come up again. Alright, you can also do, it's way faster, is a bunch of backwards teardrops by pushing down and letting go, pushing down, letting go, pushing down, letting go. Close your eye. You can add little smaller ones here from the edge. You can also do curlies down here. You want to make it look the same on each side. I'm just giving you different ideas of things to try. And then you can add like white dots in front. Let me reach over and see if I have enough white paint on here. Tip it in the water a little. You could add little white dots where you have. Doing it this way is a lot more faster. Another thing that's attractive is to your black lines, adding white dots. That almost looks a little tigery. You could add white dots all along here if you wanted. You don't have to add the eyeliner part, especially if the child is younger. But anyway, there you go. The other thing I always do is I match the lips. So let me add that on right now. Her eyes are already done, but if they weren't, I would be adding, this is the orange. If her eyes weren't, the pattern wasn't over her eyes, I would be eyeshadowing her with some powder instead of paint. But you can even, if you wanted, with the lips to outline. This is a number 3 I happen to be using. I'm going to outline them with red, and ideally you want to use maybe even a 2 round brush with the red, but you can outline the lips if you had the time. And once you have that line on with a dry brush, you can pull the color up. This is already dried on me. It's pulling up, but Diamond FX is a fast dryer. It's good. We're out here in 80 degrees in the backyard, so despite a little bit of a sweaty face, it's still drying quickly. I would take a baby wipe and then get rid of that little smudge I made and a little smudge over here. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the butterfly. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye!